Get strong.
Yes, you were listening to Hardy Nimi Rhythm. Welcome. I'm so glad you're still listening to RaRaRadio. My name is Lowie, and I'm here with a very special guest today, Amit Biswa, if I say it correctly.
Yeah, Amit Biswas.
Amit Biswas. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor. We're gonna have a chat about the book you've published recently. It's called Logoland, a compilation of all municipality logos of the Netherlands. So, tell me a bit, how did you get the idea to make this book?
The idea started actually quite simple with the Eindhoven logo. If you walk around in the city, in our city, you see these information boards called city beacons. You can touch and play, get information, and all of them on the side of it has this logo. So I have been living in Eindhoven for almost 9 years now.
Yes.
But when I first saw the logo, and I just asked myself the question, what does this logo mean? There must be a meaning behind every design that we make in our life has a meaning.
Yes.
Even the chair that we are sitting in has a
Get strong.
white. From in Brabant, and I was like, oh, okay. I went back home and I searched, and Eindhoven is a big city, so you can easily find the information. And I went back next day and I told him about the story behind it, and he found it quite fascinating. And that time I told myself, oh, I made a Dutch guy found this information very interesting. And that day that this wild idea came, it was never a plan to be a book. It was that I'm gonna find it for myself.
Yes. And just to summarize it for the people
Yeah.
at home, because I think I know a little about the Eindhoven logo, but I'm sure there's a lot of listeners who don't maybe they don't know what the logo means,
Yeah.
or maybe they just haven't seen it. So could you maybe just explain what did you discover and what did you tell your friend?
I mean, the Eindhoven logo is all about the vibes, about the city. Eindhoven is a city which kind of grew up in the 19th century around the River Dommel. The city is known for technology, design, and knowledge. So all of us know how quickly the city grew over the last couple of years. So all this are packed in this logo, the vibe of the city. At the same time, if you think about it, it has these three vibe signs. It's also the sign when you write E, the letter E.
Yes.
And you take the standing part out, it also resembles that. And it's also an open source logo. It's the only logo, probably even in the world, it's the only open source logo where people, the citizens, can use it and make it themselves. So that's the story behind it. The energy of the city is explored through this logo.
That's amazing, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And if it's really unique about it being open source, that's
Yeah.
really a cool feature. I also thought it had to do with the three rivers, but I'm not sure if it's...
No, it actually doesn't have to do anything with the river. A lot of people say that, but actually the city grew around the River Dommel. Because of the river. In the old days, you can make transportation to the boats and the ship, but it has nothing to do with the river in general. So it's really about the characteristic of Eindhoven, the unique. What makes Eindhoven unique is us, the people, our hands-on mentality.
So, and how did you find out about this story?
Eindhoven was rather easy because in the website they talk about it. There's a lot of publicity has been made in the media. It's known as one of the best logos, city logos in the world.
Really?
So you find that out. We are a small country if you think about it, but Netherlands has a lot of contribution back to the world as well. So Eindhoven is one of them. So it was not that very difficult to find. But there was a lot of other city logos which was very difficult, very, very difficult. I had to read newspaper from 18th centuries in Dutch, of course.
Yes, yeah, that's amazing because I've just browsed through this book, and I just think it's amazing, and I think it's such a nice accomplishment
Thank you.
to make this and to make to show all these different stories, because I can imagine it being really a hard task to manage, to be able to manage to make something like this.
Yeah, it took me 4 years
Yes.
to find all the information, because I was doing it in my free time, in the evening or on the weekends, because I always believed that I wanted to read it. So I thought there's 8 billion people in the world. There must be another crazy like me who also want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this quote, like, write a book that you want to read.
Yes.
So I said I'm going to do that. And I did a very simple, Netherlands is a very highly digitalized country.
Mm-hmm.
We have more or less every information online, starting from how many corona patients are admitted every day.
Yes.
So I went to the Central Bureau of Statistics, downloaded the list of the municipalities in the Netherlands. A lot of Dutch people don't know that Netherlands has 352 municipalities right now. And in 1900, we have 1,200. So it has reduced a lot.
Yes, I think there's a lot of small ones coming together as well.
They
right?
march together.
Yes,
and which is unfortunate that there's not been any initiative ever taken to preserve or archive this information. Just like a painting that you draw, a logo is designed in a computer, is also art. It's a Dutch art. And we have lost them. So I thought I'm going to archive them. And the best way is to do it in a book. Because a website, if I'm not there tomorrow, the website will be gone.
Yes.
But the chances that the book will be there forever is
it's a physical thing.
It's a physical thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you started with the Eindhoven logo, and then you got inspired to take out this list from the Central Bureau of Statistics,
correct,
and to just start. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I just downloaded the list on the Excel file, and I started with the first comment is Ein Hunze.
Okay.
I never heard of it before.
So what do? You call them or
no?
You start browsing first.
So first I start browsing. I said let's do, because I actually thought it's going to be very easy to find because we are very digitalized.
Yes.
I started at 7:00 in the evening. It was 10:30 and I didn't find anything.
Oh, really?
There was nothing. So and I was not sure. I was not ready to contact the municipality. I was like, why a municipality will give me the information? They must be so busy with any other stuff. So I started reading. Netherlands has a very beautiful project called Delpher. Delpher is a project by Dutch, library, Koninklijke Bibliotheek. And what they do is they have archived newspaper from 17th century till now, even today.
Yes.
They scanned all the newspaper pages. You can just go to delpher.com or .nl and just search keyword and you'll find information. So I call this time machine. So I discover a time machine to travel back in time to find information. And there was also another website. It's an open source project like Wikipedia. It's called Wayback Machine.
Yes, I know that one.
You can travel back up to 15 years to a website and find out information what was published. So I use those.
So was there a lot of moments where you actually have to use like these sites?
Yes, a lot.
Because then it was like people after some time they thought like it's better to get this information offline for some reason or.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think a lot of time the cities, I don't know why they take it off, because putting it on a website is the most easiest thing to do.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't cost any money. But for some reason they took it off. They have other information. I don't know why. And sometimes you have a new information, new logo. So you need to find that out. I also then, when I couldn't find those, I also wanted to reconfirm. So I contacted almost 279 municipalities. I called them, emailed them. I contacted the mayors of the cities. Some of the mayor actually replied back.
So you know all the mayors now.
A lot of them.
Wow.
A lot of them. I also had a chance to talk to a lot of designers of the logos, and that was the most rewarding part, because a lot of times designers don't get enough credit for their work. And when I told them that I'm going to even include their name in my book, they were very happy. I said, I think I said, why somebody should struggle the amount of struggle I went through? The next person who will write this book, maybe next year, should have this information ready, and I think the designer should get the credit.
Well, that's amazing. And so you started with Eindhoven, and then you started with the A, I think.
Alphabetically, yeah, correct.
Yes. So how did that go? The first, because you said the first one was really hard.
First
to find,
one was
right?
really tough. I did for 1 or 2 days. I couldn't find it. I gave it up. I said, okay, move to the next one.
Yes.
And then it went through and through. There was even a time I almost like gave up.
Yes.
Because I was like,
Why?
what am I doing?
Yeah. You were like, why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this? That was the question. But I think sometimes it's good to give a pause when you're in a project like that, because then you go back and because it's a project or something that you do with a passion. It's like squeezing a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
More you squeeze it, at one point it can get bitter.
Yes.
And that's the point you need to stop. And then take a rest and come back again with a full enthusiasm. So, and I remember I was in a summer holiday in Barcelona. I picked up a book called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. And he literally wrote the quote that write a book that you like to read.
Yes.
And he had a very nice flowchart where he said, has it been written? Yes. Do you like it? Yes, then okay. If you don't like it, rewrite it.
Yes.
And if it's not been written, write it yourself. So I remember I came back, and I instantly that evening I started again with full energy back to the project.
And then you started at A2 or
I think that time I was already letter G or somewhere.
Okay.
So I left some back. I had it was almost like a PhD project, but which is I'm not a doctor, but it was a project like that. But I actually enjoyed a lot because as you know, I'm born in Bangladesh, and Netherlands is my home now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like when you go on a holiday, let's say you go to Thailand or Africa somewhere, you see the country from a totally different perspective than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because you will see me taking pictures of Netherlands, and you'll be like, why Amit is taking picture of this park? It has always been there. And when you go on a holiday, you take pictures of things. I'm like, why Lowie is taking picture of this?
Mm-hmm.
This is just a banner. But for you, it's something different because
Yes.
it's a different perspective. So when I was writing this book, I saw Netherlands from a totally different perspective, because every logo had a history, something to talk about the city. So I started sitting at home and exploring the Netherlands in a totally different way. And it was like a storybook, because
Yes.
Netherlands has a very rich history, and a lot of logos captures those history as well.
So talking about history, what's one of the logos that like dates back the most time? Is it like is there an oldest logo within here?
There's one of the logo is one of the first logo in the cities was Gemeente Dronten.
Mm-hmm.
It's from 1970. One of the designer was very famous, Ben Bosch, Dutch designer, and he designed that logo and is known to be the first municipality logo in the Netherlands.
Ah, really?
And
so he was a trendsetter.
Yeah, and Netherlands is a polderland, and it's from the province Flevoland, which is basically created by us.
Yes.
And as it was a new land, they didn't have much history behind it. And this guy was so courageous. He took the step, and even today, the logo is still there from 1970. If you just Google it up, he wanted to portray a message through the logo to the world about nuclear de-arming,
Mm-hmm.
which has nothing to do with the municipality, but he has this, when you build dam, you have these blocks, which is almost in the sign of a peace sign, and he used those blocks to create the logo of the municipality to show the message to the world that we are against the nuclear bombing. Such a strong message, and I wish if I could meet him or talk to him, I would ask him, how did you manage the municipality board
Yes.
to do that? And the logo is still timeless.
But this is also because you said it's 1970, so it's during the Cold War.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of tension going on around this subject. I can
Yeah.
imagine.
But nobody else has it.
No.
No, everybody has something to do with the city, and he has a very broader message. And he beautifully combined it. He has 7 blocks,
Mm-hmm.
and the 7 blocks combines the 7 villages which belongs to the municipality. But at the same time, it forms the logo. Oh, he's brilliant. And also the gemeente Groningen.
Mm-hmm.
The Groningen is funny to think about it right now. Is that this the first computer-generated logo?
Really? So they
Because-
used an AI, or
Yeah, no, they use the circle, which a kid can make nowadays with their iPad or their tablet, but those days making a circle with a computer must have been.
yeah, because how old is it?
I don't know the exact data. It's in the book if you have a look at it, but it is quite. I think the very early age of Adobe coming into our life. So, yeah, it's and you also another fun thing is that one of the oldest logo in the world is the logo of VOC, the
Yes.
Dutch VOC.
Yes.
And it's one of the world's most recognized logo as well. And the origin, so you can nobody. It's funny to say that such a small country like Netherlands has such a strong influence in design and logos around the world. And so yeah, of course, I got to learn that through my writing of the book.
Yes, it's really interesting. I see now the logo from Groningen dates back to 1988.
1988, so it's the
Yes.
very beginning of Adobe.
Yes. I think it's amazing. Like, look at this one, Haarlemmermeer.
Haarlemmer
Do you
Meer.
remember that one?
Yeah, it's rather new. So they have taken very unique symbols, what makes the municipality unique, and they made a H out of it combined. And every time you see it in a different places in the municipality, the logo is different. It's never same. It's not static. It also shows that we are a dynamic city. So every time you see that H from Haarlemmer is different symbols in it.
It's amazing. Must be a lot of thought going into creating these. I can imagine.
Yeah, more than we imagine, actually. How much? I mean, everything that you design, no matter where you are, if you look around you, the phone that you're using or the car that you're driving, everything has a symbol or logo. And there's somebody behind it who has spent hours to make it what it is now. And most of the time we say, oh, if I tell you, oh, do you know the logo of Apple? You instantly know it.
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty is so simple.
Yes.
Such a simple story behind it, and that's what makes it powerful.
And out of all these logos, because you said there's more than 350.
52.
352, to be exact. Which one did you like the most?
I really like the Eindhoven one. It's a little bit has this kind of. I always say you can put it in the middle of a T-shirt and you're like an Iron Man. It's like a logo.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So it's very strong, simple. I like it. The simplicity of it. I like the logo of Dronten, of course, because it's such an old logo. But if you look at it even today, it's so timeless. So a beautiful design is timeless, or it has to be changed over the time. So I really like that. And I also like the logo of Maastricht because that's the first city. It's more emotional because the first city I came in the Netherlands to my study, the logo of Maastricht. So yeah, it's always which you have connection to most of the cases. But there's so many logos, and art or design is always very personal. The one you like, the one I like will differ. But what makes it yours, that makes it have a better connection with you.
So why did you like Maastricht logo so much?
Maastricht logo has a very interesting story to it because Maastricht is one of the most beautiful cities in the Netherlands. When you visit there, there's a street called Onze Lieve Vrouwplein.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big church, very old church. And when you go there, there's a statue of Mother Mary. And if you look up, there's a star on it as well. So they captured the Mother Mary and the letter M together in that logo. And funny enough, I didn't know that Maastricht was a fisherman's village.
Really?
Yeah. So the fishermen caught the fish on the river Maas, and they were religious, and they went back praying to the Mother Mary.
Yeah, to give us more food.
Yeah. So it's such a strong, recognizable figure, along with the star of Maastricht. They captured it perfectly in that. So here you see the letter M, and the Mother Mary is behind it, with
With a shield,
with the
I
shield
think?
with the shield with
Yeah.
the star, which basically shows that the angel, the protective figure, is basically the municipality is protecting the city. We care for you. So very simple.
It's amazing, man. I think we can talk about it for hours.
Yeah.
What drives you so much to be interested in design? Are you like a designer from your own interest, or what?
No, I'm a marketing professional. Marketing and design, I always like it because more than a design, I always have. I'm just curious. I always start with the question why. It's not what bread that you eat. Why do you eat the bread? Because you're hungry.
Yes.
So it's always the question why. When I just look at something, I tend to ask the question, why does it look like that? So and yeah, and my always thing is the goal is that if I can explain something which is well designed, I should be able to explain to a 5-year-old.
Yes.
And if it's too complex, I already lost it in design. So the background in marketing, branding, design. I can design. I am not a professional designer, but that just intrigues me to ask the question why and to find the story behind it.
I think it's amazing. I'm still blown away by all this work you must have put in. So you were telling you kind of like had a break when you were at G or something, and then you regained the energy to continue.
Correct.
How did you continue?
So when I had a break, I actually decided to go into another project, which is called getting married.
Okay, that's a really huge project, I can imagine.
So that time I was busy preparing for my wedding with my wife. So it was almost 3-4 months. I didn't look into the project. So that is another very beautiful project because you're gonna have a big party with the people you love. So that was that time, and then like I said, I got back to it after reading that book, Show Your Work. And I got really motivated, and I said, I'm usually a person who likes to do 0 or 100.
Yes.
I will never find me 60 or 70. So I said, I started it. Let me finish it. I don't know if I'll able to publish it or not. My goal was always, if I wake up one day and I'm 80 years old and I ask myself, oh, I didn't do it, I think I'll be very sad. And I didn't want to be that old sad guy. I said, no, I'm gonna do it now, and that was the drive. And I said, I'm gonna just do it, and I'm gonna have a tick in the box that I did it. It's pretty simple as that.
I think it's. I still think it's amazing. I think you must have had a lot of, how do you say, strength to be able to pull it through, because it's not a small thing.
No,
it's a
and you are never alone, actually, because right now here Inaka is sitting here with me, and Inaka, when I first met her, I told her the topic, and she found it amazing. And she was not the only one. There was many people when I spoke to them, and I don't know these people. I just never met them. It was also in the middle of the Corona time. I just spoke over phone, and when I tell them about this topic, they are so enthusiastic, and that also gives you the drive. Because then you say, oh, there's more crazy than I'm not the only one. There's somebody who else also believes in it, right? So, and that's the drive. When somebody believes in you, in your when the weather is bad, it's raining, you think, oh, what am I doing? And then there's somebody else, and when you put it together, you also see, oh, there's more than 5, 10, 20, 30 people who believes in that project. They're actually enthusiastic. They want to have that. And that gives you a drive. So I also decided to put all of their name in the book as well, end of it. I said, no, you never do it alone. We are stronger together. And it's wrong if I say, oh, I did it. No, these people also help me with information directly or indirectly. So they deserve to be credited.
Of course.
Yeah, because credit is always due.
it's a beautiful way of giving back, I think. So you were talking about crazy. Like, what's one of the most craziest logos that are in the book, or like craziest stories you have encountered while making it?
There's crazy again. Like I said, there's always depends on how you see it, what you find crazy. There's some old logos where there's no information behind it. Can you imagine that somebody made a logo in the 19th century? It's not that long ago. We have newspaper, internet, or some way to preserve it. And there's people working in the municipality in a communication department, and they say, I don't know. And that is I find it quite strange.
Yeah, and that you're still using it, and you don't know why you're using it.
I ended up even writing to the mayor asking, I said, you're the mayor, you should know it.
Yes.
So like Ouder Amstel is such an old logo. No.
I'm gonna look it up. I want to see it.
So what I did is that I said, okay, I'm not gonna leave it empty. So I spent 1 or 2 full days in finding, and I did different research method to find that what could be probably the most probable explanation. And I even wrote that and sent it back to the city, and I said, look, I know you don't have it. This is my explanation. I'm going to put it through anyways.
So what did you find out?
Is the establishment actually, like the Amsterdam that we know, is rather new.
Mm-hmm.
So the settlement behind, the river Amstel, and Netherlands is a river-based country. It's a water-based country, basically.
Yes.
And throughout the history of human civilization, the civilization started besides the river because of food, water, transportation.
Trade, yes.
So it's not a big difference as well. So when the new Amsterdam came to existence, it became a new name called Ouder Amstel. So the logo has a sort of a flow. So, of course, the flow has to be with the water connection. So that's what I found out, and I also wrote back the history behind it, which I just told you, that how it became Ouder Amstel. In Dutch, Ouder means older, older Amstel River, and Amsterdam is the new Amsterdam, basically. So that there's Gemeente Laren, which has a very strange logo with a letter S. Which means in the Latin word signum. I don't know what is the connection with it.
Yes.
There is on a piece of shield, tree is growing. So I don't know what is going on.
Yes, it's an interesting 3D logo.
3D logo, but it's very old logo. So I don't know what is going on there, but something is going on. So there's 2 ways to be famous. Mm-hmm. It's a good design or a bad design.
Yes.
So you choose.
Yeah.
So you find actually different funny things as well. So
yeah, I can imagine. So I actually grew up in Schijndel.
Yeah. Gemeente Woerden.
Meijerijstad.
Marijstad.
I think it's recently been
M. It has an M logo.
Yes, I'm gonna check it out because I don't think I've seen it yet.
It's a letter M with a color variation.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes.
And it's 3 pillars with the 3 municipalities that has marched together. So I feel sometimes strange to have all this information in my head.
Yes, it's amazing because I like to have the book and I can see it, and you're like currently, but you're not even looking at the book.
Yeah, so I sometimes think, oh, is it a strange power? I don't know what is it.
Yes, but I can imagine that you've talked with all these municipalities, with the mayors, with the designers, so it also forms a connection between you and them which also makes it really you can think about this story or this connection, and I think that maybe helps to think about the stories.
Yeah, also, I just don't take the story for granted. Because if I was born here, it's very easy for me to just take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I always has this extra. Yeah, I had to be careful because I'm not from here. I don't want to put any wrong information.
Yes.
So it was extra triple work so that just because you wrote it down, I don't take it for granted. I had double or triple check methods to find that exactly that what they write is really true. So virtually or sometime when I visit a city, I look into that. Oh, does this place actually exist?
Yes.
What they talk about. So yeah, you make a connection through the city to, and I actually made a list of places I want to visit
Mm-hmm.
because I found the stories so fascinating, and I said, oh, I really want to visit that city.
Which one was on top?
Uh, um, uh, I have a list. Let me have a look. I keep the list on my phone. The places I would like to visit. So it started. Let me have a look. So already did that. So it was not a city, the province, Friesland.
Yes.
I visited this summer. It was lovely. Enkhuizen.
Okay.
So
Why Enkhuizen?
Yeah, it's a historical city because of ship industry. So when I read the logo, they kind of portray together the water, the sailing, the fishing industry, so all together. And then I Google, and the Google pictures look so nice. I said, oh, I want to go and visit. And you know what's the trick in Netherlands is that every time somebody Googles Dutch pictures, it's always the beautiful sunny pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody uploads the cloudy days. No.
Never in the rain.
Never in the rain. So it always looks so beautiful. So so I wanted to visit Enkhuizen, which I did.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a very small, quite small, quiet. A lot of people who are into sailing come there. So I went there when I was doing my summer holiday. So in the Friesland area, from there on the way back, I was visiting Enkhuizen. I spent a day, good restaurant, nice bar, and I enjoyed the day. And it was a sunny day. So
Well, that was
it was a sunny day. And Vlieland, I wanted to check.
yes.
Yeah. I couldn't go there because you have to take different ferries to go there. But from the boat, I saw it. It's a nature preserved island. So that I still have a list here. I want to see Volendam, Zutphen, Urk, Heusden. Yeah. So and Gulpen, Wittem. My accent is not the best.
Gulpen is really nice. I've been there recently.
Yeah. So I have this list called places to visit in Holland or Netherlands. So yeah, and I keep on when I'm around, I go and visit it.
So, and how many of these did you see already?
Out of 352, not a lot.
No?
No. I think I then. But what's the hurry? I mean, I have time. I will visit it one by one.
Yeah, I've heard that it will be gone in like 100 years because we will be drowning in water.
Then that's why I'm learning swimming to do under.
Perfect.
Then I'll do diving.
Yes.
It's like a lost city of Atlantis.
Yes, it's gonna be amazing as well.
I don't think we'll be underwater.
No,
but,
I hope not as well.
Afsluitdijk, that I wanted to visit. I also visited. It's
Yes,
this is a brilliant project.
If you talk about things we take for granted, I think this is one of the biggest in the Netherlands. Because we don't even, like a lot of young people, for instance, they don't even realize how connected with water the Netherlands is and how reliant we are on these kind of infrastructures.
Yes.
And if people visit the Netherlands from and coming from a different country, they're like amazed by what we accomplished. But we don't. I've never visited it. I think and we're using we're using the techniques every day.
Yeah, I remember the first time I was in Amsterdam and I was talking to my father on Skype, and he told me, "Do you know you're below the water level?" I said, "What are you talking about? I don't know swimming."
Yes.
And that was a very strange feeling. After I left the phone talking, I was standing there and I said, if there is no water dam, I'm actually underwater.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look around, everybody's enjoying the life.
Yeah.
Life goes on. And yeah, I think it's not only the Dutch people. I think everywhere where we are, you just tend to take things for granted. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's things I take for granted back home in Bangladesh, and now I also start to take things granted in Netherlands, like the train will be on time.
Yes.
And I have seen in the beginning people go crazy, like, what? Train is 5 minutes late, Amit, 5 minutes late. I said, it's 5 minutes late. In some countries, we don't even know if the train is coming.
Yes.
So it's really all about the perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I always tell my Dutch friends, sometimes you just don't know what you have.
Yes.
Sometimes I think it's to take a pause, I think, in everybody's life, to just not in your country, just to realize what you have. I think that's, and then you actually have a lot.
Yes, I can imagine. Like one of the things for me that really stood out was when I went and visited a couple of nature campings in the
Yeah.
Netherlands as well. Because I didn't, when the starting of this pandemic, I didn't want to go to the other countries.
Mm.
So I was like, how can I go on a holiday within my own country? And actually, at first I was at this nature camping near Tilburg, and it was just, I think, not even 40 kilometers away from this, and it was amazing. It was super beautiful. They had a super nice park and forest, and you could walk around for hours there. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. I don't need to take a flight all the way to the other side of the world to see something impressive. And the same goes for, I told you I was in Gulpen.
Yeah.
Me and some friends, we walked the Dutch mountain trails.
Okay.
And everybody laughs because we were like, we don't really have any mountains, but it's called the Seven Summits of the Netherlands.
Seven Summits. I need to see, okay?
And I would really recommend everyone to go and walk it. It's like 102 kilometers. So we did it in 4 days. And it's amazing because it shows it's in all the southern part of Limburg.
Yeah.
It goes from Eindhoven to Maastricht.
Yeah.
And you finish there, and it's like all along the way you have this beautiful nature. I was like amazed by how beautiful it was. And like if you're talking about really cherishing what you have and what you have nearby, was really an eye opener for me too.
I mean, what is one of the beautiful thing about Netherlands is that we can just take a train from Amsterdam to Maastricht, and basically from one point of the country to another point, you can reach within few hours.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people I meet especially in Eindhoven or Brabant area, I say, I have been to Texel, the island Texel. Oh, I have never been to Texel. I said, it's so beautiful place. I mean, it's one of the nicest place. I mean, if the weather is nice, you don't have to make a plan. You just have to wake up, you see the sun is shining, and drive. As simple as that. You'll be there in 2 hours max, and you're going to have a lovely day. Whether you want to stay, don't want to stay, you can come back.
Yes.
So I think, like you said, I think a lot of people did, like tourists in our own country. That was the hashtag running in the time of Corona.
Yes.
I think that was the positive side of the pandemic, that people started exploring what is near us. And I also realized that when I actually in 2018 went back to Bangladesh, and I actually traveled in my own country, I also realized how beautiful it is. But when I was living there as a teenager, as a kid, a lot of time you just take it for granted, and you always look outside. Mm-hmm. You always say, "Oh, these countries are better." Actually, not. End of the day, it's the same. I always say the same wine in a different bottle.
Yes.
So I think it's good to see your own country from a different angle. I think that I always use the word, the perspective matters.
Mm-hmm.
Just like your life matters, your perspective also matters. It doesn't matter in your country or the way you think or the somebody's view. It matters. Don't question it. Just try to see from that person's perspective that why that person sees that in a different way. That will just widen your view. I think that's what the book kind of did to me as well, and I hope it will do to others.
So you published it. When did you publish it?
It was on 23rd of August.
Okay. It
was a glorious day. I actually did it with the Eindhoven publisher Lecturis.
Cool.
They're famous for design books, and when I walked up to them, the owner Paul van Maberen, he found the project fantastic, and he said we'll do it together. So 23rd of August it came out, and it has been amazing since then. All the nice messages that you get makes your day.
So you published it, and what happened then?
I published it. I was nervous, and afterwards, I actually thought maybe 1 or 2 medias will pick it up. But actually, it went quite great. It was in the most popular newspaper, the Volkskrant. Reformatorische Dagblad. I was in the radio stations, magazines like Fritz magazine in Eindhoven. I was contacted by one of the great guy in Eindhoven, Peter Kenty. He also wrote the foreword. He was the only person who actually proactively reached out to me. I got to meet these amazing people who believed in it. Magazines like Marketing Tribune. I got to have my book signing in a Van Peer bookstore, and those I did not expect at all.
No.
Not at all.
I can imagine. How was the book signing?
Book signing was fun. Sitting in such a historical, popular bookstore is also nerve-wracking. You're just sitting there and people passing by. People here are more reserved than my back home. Back home is more extrovert people. People just come in and talk. So it was nice. A lot of friends, family, they walked by for the signing. So it was nice. Some people come and ask me, do you know what is the meaning of the gemeente Woede? I said, yeah, I know, I can tell you.
What was it? I know somebody who lives in Woerden.
It's actually pretty simple. What they did, they modernized the gemeente wapen. Wapen, in other words, in English, the coat of arms.
Yes.
So they modernized it in just a modern version of it, and they put it there because it's so recognizable. They didn't want to throw it away, but they want to use it in a more modern version. So they kept the dark blue shield and the gold in between. They made it yellow color. So they just used it like that, and that's as simple as that. I'm not going to try to make something else out of it.
So then you're talking with all these people coming, and you're signing these books. What and you got invited to a lot of radio stations, you said as well?
Yeah, I was in Omroep Zeeland.
Really?
Omroep Zeeland, yeah. Out of all of them, Zeeland I go always for my summer, like a weekend trips to Oudorp, one of the nicest place to visit. So I was on that radio show. I was on a podcast called Nationale Zieken Omroep.
Okay.
Very beautiful, which is an initiative for people who are in the hospital or at home who cannot move, for them. A small podcast. So that was really nice. And now I'm here in RaRaRadio. So
nice.
That, yeah.
I'm so happy you've made the time to talk with me about this subject, because I really find it fascinating, and I think the book is amazing. So if people want to know more about your work and about this book, how can they find you?
Finding me is very simple. I'm available online. I like to meet people, so if you're interested, just reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can just my name is Amit Biswas, amitbiswas.nl. You can just go to my site and find me, contact me. I like coffee. I know one of the best places of coffee in Eindhoven.
Yeah, which one is that?
My favorite is Danf Coffee.
Ah, yes.
It's very close. My book is also there. I know the owner, Dan. He's a great guy. So I meet a lot of people there in Eka, even you. Just drop by. They have one of the best coffee. Zwartweed, Bean Brothers, they're also very good. So you'll find me there. Reach out to me on Instagram. Just doesn't matter. Just find me, or just simple as that. Just type the word Logoland, Amit Biswas, you will find me. So
and you can also order the book, I can imagine, if you would like to read it.
Yeah, you can order directly. You can order on bol.com. Doesn't matter. It's everywhere and all the bookstores. My goal was that the book should be there everywhere, and that's why I took the initiative to fully finance it by myself. And that's my goal was that I find a publisher who has the biggest network or the good network to spread the book around. I think the people need to know about their own country. I even sent a copy to our king.
Yes.
I sent to William Alexander a copy, said, I think, with a nice letter, I think it's nice for him to know our country from a different
yes, of course.
as well.
Did you get a response? Or,
not yet. Not
I really
yet.
think he should invite you and talk about this. Yes, because it's really, it's like what we've talked about as well. It's history, and it's all, it's like the Netherlands is this big mess, but it's all villages and towns, and it's all being pulled together.
Yeah.
And we all share this common identity, I think. And it's a really nice summary of all this history, I think, which should be noted.
I think I also hope so. I also think it will raise a little bit more awareness. It's a little bit like this. If you ask somebody, what's your favorite brand? Everybody will tell you a brand.
Mm.
And the city that you live in, that's your own city. You should be proud of. Why shouldn't I act like a brand? And why shouldn't my city, like cities like Amsterdam, Rotterdam, they invest so much through their identity, design, brand to feel proud of it, which Eindhoven does as well. People have a tattoo of Eindhoven logo in their hand.
Yes.
How amazing is that? So I also hope that it's not only that the book I wrote in English very specifically so that other countries can get inspired as well. Because I was a one-man army. I cannot do it for all. But I hope if somebody is listening in Rwanda or Bhutan or Bangladesh, I don't care, you also start questioning, and maybe it inspires you to look into your own cities or country from a different way. And maybe you write something. So, and get it. And if you need help, call me. I'll give you all the tips, how to track down people, how to get the information out. Because it's quite tough to reach to somebody who you don't know and digitally.
Yes.
And should be a nice way to create a need that person wants to give you the information. So just reach out to me.
I think it's a really beautiful message to finish the conversation with, and we've talked about it a bit more, but it's about respecting and about appreciating whatever there is instead of focusing on what there is not or what you're missing, for instance. So I think it's also an invitation for the listeners to take a moment to appreciate the places they live, the amazing nature we have, or the architecture, or the things that you just take for granted.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we are too busy with, if you look into our media, there's always the topic about problems, what's not going right, because that is catchy. That catches on.
Yes.
I think, and that end of the day makes you tired. But if you just look at outside and even the coffee mug or the tea that you're drinking, the cup, and ask why the design, why did I pick it? There's a reason to it. And just that appreciation will just make your life better. Just sometimes people ask me, Amit, what's next? I say, no. I'm enjoying right now.
Yes.
Let me enjoy it. I mean, what next? I don't know yet. I'm just seeing what's going to come. But at the same time, let me enjoy this moment. Just take a pause and say, wow, I'm sitting here with Lowie having a talk right now. I never thought about that. So, yeah, so I think that's most important, to have that realization that, okay, I did it. Because we are always running around nowadays. We're just constantly, what's next? So I think sometimes like, okay, what now? I'm just enjoying now. So just punt. Full stop. I think should be enough for everybody.
Beautiful. Amit, I really, really, really want to say big thank you for last hour, and thank you for making this book, because I think it's a story that needs to be told, and that a lot of people can get inspired. And I really hope that we will see soon an edition of the French or Ireland or wherever they also, because every place has a story, and it's
absolutely,
it's nice to be told. Thank you for making time to be in the show, and thank you for being such a nice guest. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you for having me. I also enjoyed, and I know a lot of friends from all over the world listening today. I did a lot of promotion of it. So you can say hello to my friends in Africa, in Asia. They're all tuning in right now.
Cool.
So thank you, and I wish you all guys all the best as well.
And if you missed it or if you tune in later, all the shows from RaRaRadio will be uploaded to Mixcloud at a later moment, so probably tomorrow or the day after, and you can still listen to it back or spread it with whoever needs to hear this show. Thanks again.
Thank you.